Most afternoons, Dennis Lim's parents would raise the door to the garage in Oceanside and send him out to play.
The neighborhood I grew up in was great for kids. It was a cul-de-sac.
He and his friends would sit in the neighbor's yard and talk, or play baseball in the street.
My parents didn't have to really put any thought into how is Dennis going to socialize? How is he going to make new friends? How is he going to learn all these skills that we're talking about? Social skills, being physically active. They just let me go outside until it was time for dinner, and just kind of did the rest.
Now, decades later, Dennis is a parent with two little kids of his own. He lives at the end of another cul-de-sac, this one in a residential neighborhood of North San Diego, the perfect place for a good game of street baseball. But most days, his block is silent.
Now, you drive through any street in America, I don't care what neighborhood it is, poor, urban, suburban, whether it's a weekday, weekend, you just don't see kids outside.
Dennis isn't alone in noticing this change. Across the country, researchers who study childhood say the way that kids play has quietly transformed over time. For decades, kids like Dennis would go out and play freely, what experts call unstructured play. That's when kids are getting to choose what they want to do and exercise their creativity on their own, away from adult supervision.
Free mobility, freedom to have a part-time job.
Peter Gray is a professor of psychology and neuroscience at Boston College.
Where you are independent, where you have to take control of your life yourself because there's no adult standing right over you telling you what to do.
Fireball! Think those kids in Stranger Things, cruising around the neighborhood on their bikes, minus the monsters.
Fireball him! Cast protection.
But around the 1980s, experts say a couple big things changed. The first one was how parents viewed safety. In 1979, a 6-year-old named Eaton Patz went missing in New York. That was followed by several other high-profile kidnappings of young kids. Child abduction was a rare crime. It still is. But the cases made big news, causing a national uproar. Everyone from dairy companies to picture book characters started warning that it was dangerous for kids to be alone.
The messages began to be, if you're not watching your kids, or you don't know where they are, or if there's not some other responsible adult watching them, then you are a negligent parent.
That was the first big change. The second came in 1983, when the Department of Education under Ronald Reagan warned that American schools weren't keeping up with other countries. Within decades, Congress passed the No Child Left Behind Act, a sweeping law that required schools and teachers to prove success in academic growth using standardized test scores.
Teachers now are being evaluated based on the test scores. So the nature of school changed very dramatically.
Schools started to take more time. Teachers gave out more homework, school years got longer, kindergartners had less time to play in class. Gray and others argue that these two shifts may be one cause of the youth mental health crisis, adding to the uncertainty, anxiety, and hopelessness that many young people experience today.
We're depriving them of those opportunities. They're not learning how to take that kind of responsibility. They're not developing the sense that they can solve their own problems, that they can deal with the bumps in the road of life as they occur.
Play is just one of many factors affecting kids' mental health. But Gray says it is one area where parents can do something. He has a number of recommendations, including teaching kids how to be safe during independent activities. Dennis Lim, who lives on that quiet cul-de-sac, and his kids have been spending a lot of time at the park. He thinks that's one of his kids' best options to spend time exploring and hanging out with others.
You don't need like a grand park for like every neighborhood, but like a little pocket park, someplace where there's like a real chance for like some real social interaction, some communal space. That could go a long ways for that.
But Lim also points out that there's one other place where kids are getting some of these benefits. During recess at school. And in California, changes to recess time are coming soon. Kori Suzuki, KPBS News.